The crystal glasses trembled as his laughter cut through the quiet restaurant, sharp and deliberate, meant to wound. He leaned back in his velvet-lined chair, switched to a foreign language, and began mocking the young waitress standing before him, certain she wouldn't understand a single word. The woman beside him smiled awkwardly, unaware of the storm about to unfold. What he didn't know was that the waitress gripping that small notepad wasn't just serving dinner, she was serving justice. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of hidden strength, take a moment right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Grandma Dearie. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The restaurant glowed with warm lights and polished mirrors, a place where wealthy businessmen often came to celebrate their victories. That evening, the air smelled of roasted herbs and expensive wine. She moved quietly between the tables, her hair neatly tied back, her uniform simple and professional. To everyone else, she was just another hard-working server trying to earn her tips. But beneath that calm exterior was Officer Elena Vance, a decorated detective working undercover on a long-running financial crime investigation. For months, Elena had chased a ghost, a powerful man suspected of laundering money through luxury establishments and offshore accounts. He was clever, careful, and untouchable. Witnesses withdrew statements. Paper trails disappeared. Fear followed his name like a shadow. Tonight, for the first time, he had shown his face publicly, confident that no one in this elegant space would ever challenge him. When he walked in, the room subtly shifted. He wore confidence like a tailored suit. His watch alone could pay for a small house. He treated the hostess like furniture and barely acknowledged the staff. Alina recognized him immediately. Every late night studying case files, every sacrificed weekend, every promise she made to the victims of his schemes, it all led to this table. She approached with steady hands, offering the menu with a professional smile. He scanned her quickly, dismissively, and began speaking in a language he assumed she didn't know. He mocked her accent. He commented on her appearance. He joked to his companion that people like her existed only to serve people like him. His tone dripped with arrogance, each word a calculated attempt to shrink her humanity. But Alina understood every syllable. Her father had immigrated from that very country. She had grown up speaking the language at home, listening to her parents teach her that dignity was something no one could steal unless you allowed them to. As his insults continued, memories of her father working double shifts to put her through the police academy flickered in her mind. She felt the sting, not because she was embarrassed, but because she recognized the cruelty behind his casual laughter. Still, she said nothing. Undercover work demanded patience. It demanded swallowing pride for the greater good. The small recording device hidden beneath her collar captured every word. The team outside waited for confirmation. Tonight wasn't about revenge. It was about evidence. He grew bolder as the wine flowed. He discussed offshore transfers in coded phrases, confident that no waitress could possibly connect the dots. He boasted about manipulating contracts, about outsmarting regulators, about how easy it was to buy silence. His companion laughed, unaware that the trap was closing with every careless sentence. Alina's heart pounded, but her posture remained composed. She refilled his glass, memorized timestamps, and subtly pressed the signal button hidden in her apron pocket. Across the street, unmarked vehicles shifted into position. For a brief moment, she allowed herself to feel the weight of the journey. The victims of his fraud were not just numbers in a file. They were families who had lost retirement savings, small business owners who had trusted the wrong signature, parents who had believed in promises that evaporated overnight. She remembered visiting one elderly couple who had broken down in tears at their kitchen table. That memory strengthened her resolve. The climax came quietly. He switched again to that foreign language and made one final cruel joke about her intelligence, suggesting she probably couldn't even understand basic arithmetic. That was when she looked him directly in the eyes for the first time that evening. There was no anger in her expression, only calm certainty. In the same language, fluently and clearly, she responded. She thanked him for the detailed explanation of his offshore transfers. She informed him that his statements had been recorded, and she suggested he might want to reconsider underestimating people based on their uniforms. The color drained from his face. Before he could react, the restaurant doors opened. Plainclothes officers entered with quiet authority. Conversations hushed. Forks paused midair. The confident man who had laughed moments earlier now sat frozen, realizing that the person he tried to humiliate had been building a case against him the entire time. Alina stepped back as her team approached the table. The arrogance that once filled his posture collapsed into disbelief. Wealth could buy many things, but it could not buy immunity from the truth. As he was escorted out, the same staff he had ignored stood silently, watching justice unfold. Later that night, Alina removed her apron and sat alone in her car. The adrenaline faded, replaced by exhaustion and quiet reflection. Undercover work was lonely. It required blending into the background, accepting disrespect without revealing your strength. But moments like this reminded her why she chose the badge. Not for applause, not for revenge, but for fairness. The next morning, headlines would describe the arrest of a powerful businessman on charges of fraud and money laundering. Analysts would discuss financial implications. Commentators would debate legal outcomes, but none of them would fully understand the small, human moment at the center of it all. The moment a man's prejudice blinded him to the strength standing right in front of him. Alina visited her parents that weekend. She didn't share the details of the operation, confidentiality still bound her, but she hugged